Hey everyone, Ryan the Vintage Viking here, and I have a book haul for you from my latest trip that I just took. I had to go down to LA again, and so got to stop at a few places, so got some more books. Check it out. Alright, so on this trip I went to mostly thrift stores, but I did go to one bookstore, and the bookstore had some awesome finds. I'll let you know what that one was when I get to it. All right, first up at the thrift store, I picked up some Joe Nesbo books. This is the Redeemer, part of the Harry Hole, Detective Harry Hole series, which I want to read at some point. Still one of the funniest names for a character. And then I also picked up the Red Breast by Joe Nesbo, and I don't know if that's part of the series. I don't think it is. No, it is. I see it on the back. Okay, so I haven't read this, but there's at least like 6 or 7 of these in that series that I want to read. So got those two there. I have a bunch of other ones on my shelf behind camera there that I want to make sure don't have duplicates of and things like that. And hopefully can put together that full series. I found this kind of trade paperback version of God Emperor of Dune. Pretty cool looking copy. I didn't look it up because it was I think $2. So some of these have a little bit of value to them, some of them don't. But because it was a unique cover and unique copy that I haven't seen, I figured might as well go ahead and grab it. And then I like picking up series, even if I've never heard of them. So I have heard of Lilith St. Crow, and this is a full series by Lilith St. Crow. This is called it's a dark fantasy. Anyways, I don't know the name of the whole series. It might pop up on here somewhere. But here's the first one, Trailer Park Fae. Then Roadside Magic. And then Wasteland King. There's a 3-part series there. And then I found this, it's Kingdom series. It's a Christian, I don't know, probably fantasy, I would guess, biblical allegory type. So it kind of compares it to Pilgrim's Progress, which is like one of the greatest books of all time. So this definitely can't compare to that. But I thought, well, these are kind of a full set. Might as well grab it. Looks kind of cool. So it has let's see, cover my face in my focus. There we go. 1 through 4. And then these covers, you can tell they're look like they're kind of independently done. So by Chuck Black, who I've never heard of. So that was a full set. Then I found some paperbacks. I found a DAW. This is M.A. Foster Waves. I've had this one before in the past. And then I also found Robert McCammon Stinger. And I found a couple of the same style. I don't know what this style is called on the cover art, but John Brunner's The Sheep Look Up, which I would guess is probably not super common for this cover. And in the same one, Double Double. And I know I've had some of these in the past. I've never heard of this, but the cover drew me in. This is The Dead Father by Donald Barthelme. Look at that cover. It's beautiful. It says it's a funny, angry, marvelous, astonishing book. The best book by far by an already prodigious writer. Huh. So, not exactly sure what it's about. It just looked good, so I grabbed it. Grabbed Bob Shaw, so you don't see Bob Shaw too often. This is The Ragged Astronauts. And I've heard that Bob Shaw is a fantastic author. I have not read any Bob Shaw yet. I've probably read some shorts at some point, but not a full-length novel. Richard Bowes' War Child. And I have seen, I think there's a couple in this series. They're all war something. Cool copy of Stars in My Pocket Like Grains of Sand by Delaney. I was trying to focus on Freddie over here. I think so. If you can't tell, I'm trying this new like cinematic mode, so we'll see if it works. All right, David Morrell, this new Fandangle cinematic mode these youngsters are all using. I think it looks kind of neat. David Morrell, The Totem, which I just finished reading this past month. Spoiler, it'll be on next month's what I read list. Different cover, not the greatest cover for this book. I didn't realize that David Morrell also wrote the first Rambo book, First Blood. So he's and many other ones. So he's a pretty well-known author. But here's the cover for this one, and this cover does not depict the book in any way, shape, or form. I don't get why they did this cover. So, and it says, on the back, one of the finest horror novels of the past 20 years, and it's just does not fit the book, which is really weird. I did read though that this book he wrote it. The one that I read was a full-length one, but he did write the book, and then when they went to print it, they were like, hey, you gotta shorten this thing down. So they actually released a short version of The Totem, and it was just hugely successful, and then later re-released the larger print or the larger length version. So I'll have to compare these, see if they're the same version or not that I read. And then I'll pass this one along to anybody who wants to read Totem. So, all right. So I also wanted to show you guys one of the books that I got recently in the mail. It showed up yesterday, so I figured I'd pop this one up here real quick. It is Joe Chianakis, Nightmares Under the Moonlight. I'm reading a Joe Chianakis book right now called Rabbit in Red, and it is really enjoyable. So it was so enjoyable, I went ahead and ordered the entire trilogy of that series and anything else I could find from this author that I thought was worth reading. So this one was another one, and I just bought them all based on the fact that I love the first book. And so I'm almost done with that one. It'll be on the wrap up for the end of the year, so you'll take a look at that. But this is his short story collection. That looks pretty good. So that's on there. All right, next thrift store I went to. I have never heard of this one. It looked cool, and I think I've seen it. I've seen the cover before. So a lot of times I'll recognize stuff by covers more than I will by author or name of the book. And I'll have seen it around somewhere. Jeff Vandermeer writes a little blurb on the back, so I figured it might be in that kind of sci-fi-esque horror mystery type genre. So it probably, walks the line a little bit. But this is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. And maybe you guys have seen this one somewhere, or you know about this one more than I do, but it looked pretty good, so I went ahead and grabbed it. I picked this one up specifically for eBay. I think it's $30 or $40 on eBay, so it was worth the profit that it'll be made. They put a sticker right on the front, unfortunately, and it has some dust jacket cover wear, things like that. Dust jacket cover. Myself. All right, Jack London's Tale of Adventure, and this is illustrated. It says illustrated, but as I'm flipping through, I don't see any pictures. Oh, there we go. Here's a little bit. I can't tell if it's focusing or not. I'm gonna hope that it is. Okay. Anyway, there's some photos in there. I have a really big stack somewhere around here of Brian Jacques stuff, the Redwall series, things like that. So anytime I see Brian Jacques, I just pick it up and I throw it, because I mean, if it's reasonable, like $1 or something, $2, whatever, I'll throw it in with the that stack, and eventually I want to have like a big full set that I can sell. I don't know much about this. I never read Brian Jacques, but I know many people have, and they loved it, and it was a major influence on them when they were younger, and you know, so there's quite a few. Matameo, Martin the Warrior, and that one's in hardcover. Legend of Luke, that one's in hardcover, and I have tons more. I think they're over on my shelves over here somewhere. James White, science fiction author that I've wanted to read for a while. I have, I think it's The Ambulance Ship and some other ones that I have on a list to read. But I have this book already, but I went ahead and grabbed it because it was in such great condition, and I figured somebody would want it out there. This is The Genocidal Healer by James White. Wild cover, huh? Hardcover. Found a trade kind of size paperback of a Kurt Vonnegut Bluebeard. I'm gonna have to move Freddie. Sorry, Freddie. I don't know anything about this one, but this is book 7, so I know it's part or from the guy who wrote the Cirque du Freak series, and I have a bunch of those Cirque du Freak books in a pile that I need to sell. But this one is called The Demonata, Death's Shadow. Whoa. I found Rick Hautala. I don't know how you say his last name. It's a leisure horror. This is The Mountain King. Some more Jacques Redwall and Mossflower. I sold this one a while ago, I think $20 or so. This is the first in the Choose Your Own Adventure series, The Cave of Time. And I actually have a big stack of Choose Your Own Adventures over here. One thing I did see, I was the other day I was at Barnes & Noble, and there'll be some Barnes & Noble books in here. I was at Barnes & Noble, and I went to the horror section, and they had it was like a sci-fi horror book that was like a new version of a Choose Your Own Adventure. And I wish I would have taken a picture of it so I could get the series name and info, and I forgot all about it until just recently when I picked up some more of those. That sounded like super fun. I loved Choose Your Own Adventures when I was younger, and so I would love to do a sci-fi horror Choose Your Own Adventure now. That would be a blast. All right, another Jacques. Mariel of Redwall. Mariel of Redwall. I found a Warhammer, Dark Imperium. And I don't pick up too many Asimovs, but I think this one was like $1. And it's beat up. Naked Sun. Reason I don't pick them up is because I have a ton of Asimov. Alright, next up I went to one of my favorite paperback stores recently on the way back. And here is one that I already have. Cabin at the End of the World. I think a lot of people have heard of this one. I have another copy of this, but mine's like the tall mass market ones, and so I'll probably swap this one out so I like reading off these better than I do the odd shaped mass market ones. I don't know why they do that sometimes. And I picked up a Scalzi series that I only have one of that I've ever found so far, and it's the last one in the series. So this one is, I believe, the middle, yeah, book 2. So I need to get book 1 so I could start this series also. This is the, what's the name of the series? I don't remember the name of this series. It has a, like, I don't know, intergalactic, interdependency series. So I have, I have the first, no, I have the, I don't know which one I have. I have the third one. Yeah. So this is the second one. Consuming Fire. So I love Scalzi. There's not really been anything I've read by Scalzi that I haven't really enjoyed. So I'm excited to read it. More Scalzi, more Scalzi, more Scalzi. Okay. One that I also have, but I rarely see out and about in the wild, and this is a Stephen King book, and I have so many King books, and there's so many that you just find regularly that I don't pick every single one up now. I did before, but I have such a huge overflow of extra books now that I've swapped out, and I've traded for better copies in my shelf of my personal ones. That I don't always pick up everything I find, but when I do, it's usually because it's one I don't see very often. So I read this one, I think back in February or March. This is Cycle of the Werewolf. And it's a sort of like a graphic novel / book. I hope it's focusing. So it was a fun read, short read. It basically goes through each month of the year in the cycle of the werewolf. So I think it's only like 100 and something pages, 110 or something, 125, 120, somewhere in there. Brian Lumley's Titus Crow series. This is before the Necroscope series, and this is part 3. So I would like to find the other 2 that are in the same style. This is part 3, but I have this to pass along now to someone else. I wasn't sure if I had 3 or if I had a different one. Found a couple of fun ones. I've been wanting to read these ones by Brian Keene, and I think I have one other one, but there's a few in the series. This one's Rising. And they are zombie stories, not particularly valuable or anything, but sounded fun. So I have one other one, I believe, and then I think there's at least 4. I'll have to double check, but these are ones that I've wanted to kind of put on my list and read for a while. Charlie Jacob, Haunter. I think I have this one, but I also think it's a little bit rarer and a little bit more valuable. So I'm pretty sure I have this one. This is a leisure horror, so I will most likely be selling that one. Another Charles Grant. I have quite a few Charles Grants, but this one is Riders in the Sky with the same style cover as The Pet that he has out. That same kind of embossed horse there. This one looked interesting, and I haven't heard of this one. I don't know if it's part of a series, because there's on the back it shows 2 different books that look like they're part of the series. This one says The End Game, so probably so that means I gotta buy the other ones in the series. But it caught my attention because it said if Anne Rice and Clive Barker had written a story together, it might have looked something like this. So I was like, okay, well, it's, those aren't always super reliable, but let's try it out. So this is Tim Lebon, however you say it, and this is The Edge. It's a Relics novel. On the back, it seems to be that Relics is first, and then Folded Land, maybe, and then The Edge, if someone is aware of these ones or has read these. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It says in the Relics trilogy, Relics, Folded Land, The Edge. So, oh, he also wrote, Alien Out of Shadows. I knew he had written some of those Alien Predator ones. Oh, and Incursion, Invasion, and Armageddon in the Alien Predator and Alien versus Predator series. So, haha, no wonder. Okay, I was trying to place where I heard Leben recently, and he wrote the Generations book on my Firefly series also. So, excited. I haven't read Generations yet, so excited to get to it. I also picked up some more McCammon, the Wolf's Hour. Whenever I find these older versions of McCammon, I will grab them. These are usually sought after by people, and they you know, a lot of times people want those copies. I picked this one up because I only have the paperback version of Misery, and the one I have is nowhere near as cool as this cover. I love this cover. So I'm gonna trade my cover out for this one. Yeah, that looks cool. Found a couple Jack Ketchums. I haven't read any Jack Ketchum yet. This one is The Lost, which I think I might already have. And then this one is Offspring. And I don't know if is Ketchum, I don't know if he's a little more extreme or not, but I know he's a pretty well-known author. I just haven't ever chosen to read one yet. I did go to another one. I thought these were all thrift stores. This one is from Half Price Books. So I did go to a Half Price book. This is probably one I've paid the most for at a Half Price book or at a thrift store or whatever. But I never, ever, ever find anything having to do with the Gwendy's Button Box series from Stephen King. Gwendy's Magic Feather, Gwendy's Final Task. And so I grabbed this one. It was overpriced, but I had some credits. So this one I think I paid 15 or 14 bucks for. And it's hardcover and it's in really good shape. I really enjoy Nick Cutter. So I have on my list to read a couple more of his, and The Handyman Method is one of those. So this one is on my list. There's also, I'm trying to remember the name of the other one. I can see the cover, but I can't picture the name right now. Anyways, this is one of them. There's another one that I want to get to. So I might add this to my list. I might throw this on the list for the month if I have time. Fairly easy read. It's less than 300 pages. Yeah, it's less than 300. It's pretty good size print, so I can read these a lot easier than I can a small mass market. The small print, it's getting harder for me to read. I actually need to go get glasses. I can tell that this side of my this eye is really blurry. If I kind of do this with this eye, it's almost like I can hardly see anything in focus on this side. So definitely need to go get some glasses. So the smaller print's getting harder for me. Getting old ain't for sissies, right? Man, I'm an old fart complaining about his eyesight on YouTube. Back in my day. John Brunner, Manscape. This is, oh, not Manscape, sorry. That's something else. Manshape. All right, Manshape. Manshaper would have been a good one. A good name for Manscape. All right, Manshape, John Brunner, Daw. Two Jack Vances. This is 3 and 4 in the Tschai, Tschai, the Noom and the Dirder. And these unfortunately have a big warp in the middle. So they both have that. I'm gonna put them underneath something and try to flatten them out. Computer World by A.E. von Vaught. Sorry, I didn't take any of the stickers off these. But $1.99 is about right for what I pay for a doll. The advances, I think, are $2.99, so a little bit more. Another Brunner. Kind of a cool cover. This is Polymath. And I know I have a different version of that one, different cover. Oh, and I have it right here, actually. So 2 covers of Polymath. This is The Regiments of Night by Brian Ball. I have seen this one before. It is a great cover. And I will, at some point, when things settle down, I'm not having to leave every weekend and do different kind of stuff, I will have a DAW whatnot show. I got to do a few of them. I have so much stuff piling up. I'll probably do a dollar show, and I'll do a mystery box, or maybe I'll just add mystery boxes to each show. I was thinking it'd be fun to do a box of like 50, just total mystery box, and you guys can see that, and you know, go for it if you want, kind of thing. Next up, I found the Avon print version of Dr. Mirabilis. And I have this one already, so I'll pass it along. Not one you come by very often. This is the Witching Hour. I don't remember if I got this because it was one that I looked up and had value to it. It might be, this one might be a eBayer, but it is a Florence Stevenson and the Kitty Telfair Gothic series. Ronald Kelly, Bloodkin. I have a couple Ronald Kelly books that look interesting, and I've heard one of them, can't remember the name, but it's got things in like cocoons on the front of it. I've heard that one's pretty good, so I haven't seen this one, and I don't own this one, so I went ahead and picked up to go with my horror collection, Pinnacle Horror here. So this is Bloodkin by Ronald Kelly. And then I found some great sci-fi. This one is Universe 5 by Terry Carr. And I think I might have this one somewhere. I'll have to look. I have a few of these Universe series, but I don't know if I have it in hardcover. It has Gene Wolfe in it, Ursula Le Guin, Busby, Lieber, however you say it, Pangborn. So there's quite a few in this one. Another Scalzi. And this one is a edited by Scalzi. So this is Metropolis, edited by John Scalzi. And it's kind of a trade paperback size. It feels brand new. Looks brand new. $6 for that one, but one I did not have, so that's also for me. And this one, I don't know if I have in hardcover. I know I have it in paperback. It's Predators, and it's edited by Ed Gorman and Martin Greenberg. Has several authors there that you can see on the front: John Coyne, Rick Atala, Dean Koontz, F. Paul Wilson. And that one was $4.99, you know, minus whatever the credit was. Ed Naha is in it, Edward Hotch, John Shirley, Thomas Monteleone, Richard Lehman, Richard Chismar, John Coyne, I think I said already. So there's quite a few in this one as well. I also picked up a while back this Ian M. Banks Matter. I think it was at the library for free or for $1 or something like that. Part of the Culture novels, and just recently I bought a bunch of Culture novels from Bob's Books when she had a Whatnot show. If you don't know Bob's books, go check out Bob's books. I will tag her in this, put her in the link at the bottom. She does Whatnot, as well as clothing channels, all kinds of different stuff, like multitasker of YouTube and book selling and all clothing selling, everything. So anyways, I got a bunch of the Culture series at some point a while back, a couple of weeks ago, a month or two ago, whatever it was. So I grabbed this one too because I couldn't remember which ones I had, and I want to read them all at some point. So this is going to go on my list. All right, this is probably my favorite that I went to and got. And I was thinking maybe I will announce this at some point. I was thinking, or maybe I'll suggest this at some point, announce it like everybody's waiting on pins and needles, to read some horror books for Christmas, like to pick like a few, 4 or 5 or something out there. And so this one I saw and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta grab this one. It is, I think it's fairly new. It's Edward Schaefer, and this is Secret Santa. So I think this one's gonna go on my Christmas reading, maybe a week of horror or something like that during Christmas time. Like the totally least horrific time of the year, but it is would be kind of fun. I don't know where I saw this, other than I remember somebody somewhere on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram. I don't know who it is. I think I caught it for like a second, and they were like, this book had me terrified, and it kind of for some reason stuck in my head. Everybody says that about every book they read. It's all, you know, clickbait and all that stuff. Most terrifying book. I was crying. Oh, you know, whatever. Everybody says that kind of stuff. You know, this book had me, you know, writhing under the covers in absolute terror. I had every light in the house on and I couldn't put it down. Anyways, that's what I read about this one or heard about this one. And so we'll see if that's true. Pen Pal by, is it Dathan Auerbach? Is it like Nathan but with a D? Dathan? I don't know how you say it. But I heard this was really good, according to that person that was excited about it. I picked up, this was at Barnes & Noble's, a reprint of Paperback from Hellhound. And it was buy one, get one 50% off, so still paid more than I would at a thrift store, but I doubt I'm going to be finding any of those anytime soon at the thrift store. So, and then this one, based on, where the movie is based off of, the kind of cult classic movie Audition. This is Audition by Ryu Murakami. And I've heard the book is fantastic. So probably a one sit kind of finish, maybe 2, depending on when I start it. It's less than 200 pages, so it's a pretty quick, should be a pretty quick read. But sounds good. All right. In this next one, this is the best bookstore that I went to. They have the most, they had the biggest selection of stuff. They are high priced. They have some seriously good books. They have first editions of some crazy ones that I've never seen anywhere. So I grabbed some good ones. I paid up for a few because I wanted them in my collection. And so yeah, I think the highest I paid for one was $65. But you'll see why. Okay. Oh, I thought it was the one. I ordered one that I thought it was, I was thinking it was this one for some reason, but this one I picked up in the store. Okay, this is the, it's an ace double. And I picked this one up there. Margaret St. Clair, Agent of the Unknown. And the double on the back is the reason I grabbed it. The World Jones Made by Philip K. Dick. It's in decent shape. Covers a little, or the spine's a little bit off, but, and that one's gonna be for sale. So is this one. Stanislaw Lem, the Siberia. This one is absolutely crisp, other than a little bit of, looks like a little bit of sun fading on the spine, maybe. Hard to tell, but other than that, it's pretty darn good shape. Mass market size for mechanical for Leibowitz. I usually find like the trade paperback size. Some Moorcock, The Time of the Hawk Lords. This is Moorcock and Butterworth. I know they have some compilation books where they're just wild. You got like the Who on the cover or something there. Spinrad, A World Between. Cool cover. Okay. This one I've been wanting to read forever, and I've never seen it anywhere out in thrift stores at all. And I've never just purposefully ordered it. I've heard so many things about it. Can't wait to read it. It is Kindred by Octavia Butler. This one's been talked about quite a bit. A woman that gets kind of transported back to time of slavery, and you know, doesn't know why she's there, things like that. So there's obviously more to the story, but this quick synopsis. All right, don't know anything about this one. It just looked cool. Robert Marasco, Burnt Offerings. Kind of cool looking cover. I got this one to resell. I don't remember what the value was, but this is book 1 of the Legend of Drizzt series by R.A. Salvatore. I've sold the books, the 3 individual books, for quite a bit in the past. I don't remember what this omnibus is going for. I think this was $5 or something, so it's more than that, I'm sure. All right, and this one I think I was gonna put on eBay if I remember correctly. This is another Dennis Wheatley, The Irish Witch, and it's got that Mylar wrap on it, so it's gonna be hard to see. Sorry. But it is like perfect shape. So I think that one I looked up on eBay and it was worth a bit more. Okay, I've never seen this one. It's the illustrated edition. These last 3 are the ones that I was excited about and paid a little more for. So illustrated edition of Salem's Lot. Very cool. I only have a paperback, really beat up, super beat up copy of Salem's Lot. Obviously, I know this is a reprinted, not original edition of something, but it still is pretty freaking cool looking, and it is crispy clean as if it is brand spanking new. So that one is going on my shelf. I've been looking for the graphic novels for Dark Tower, for the Dark Tower series. It has a full set of graphic novels. So I'm not going to read this one or go through these until I finish the whole Dark Tower series, so I don't spoil anything for myself. But this is the complete graphic novel saga of Dark Tower, the beginnings. There's multiple ones out there, but this is the one for the beginnings. And this is a just crispy. So it is like brand new. Originally, this is store price was $99.99. Canadian price $135. So it's pretty pricey one. So I got it for half of that, so $50. Which maybe it's cheaper online. I just saw it and I was like, okay, I'm doing it. I want that one. I want it in my collection. I want it now. You know. So I do then need to go pick up the other ones. And I grabbed this because it was really cool. And this one I paid up for. I think online they're closer to $100. So I grabbed it for $65, which is cheaper than the eBay price. I will resell this one because I have all the books already and I don't need necessarily this specific box set, but it is the complete a Dark Tower series box set. And I'm not going to take them all out. They're in there pretty tight. I was trying to see the original list price, but I may keep this and put this when I'm done reading them. I may get, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe I'll get rid of my copies that I have because I have mismatched copies. None of them are the same. Maybe I'll get rid of them and put this on the shelf as a nice, good looking box set after I'm done reading them. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right. That is going to conclude our episode of What Did Ryan Find at the Bookstore. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. It's always fun. And I'll catch you on the next one. Trying a new catchphrase. I think it'd be fun to have a catchphrase. Someday, put it on some merch, t-shirt, hat, something like that. I'd love your suggestions. I was thinking something like, I don't know, go out there and crack some spines. You got something else for me? Throw it in the comments. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it'd be fun. I'd love to sport a t-shirt from somebody that had a cool catchphrase, so that I enjoyed watching. So I'm thinking about it. You guys help me out if you want. If not, that's fine. You can just ignore me, and that's you do you. Okay, you do you.